the DJ to play a song for us, we would all stand and we'll welcome him to the stage. He is no other person. Is DJ Finesse not here? Would you represent him? Are we ready? He is none other person than the country representative of UNESCO, Dr. Abdurrahman Diallo. I hope I did not murder the name. Please, let's give him a round of applause while we welcome him on stage. DJ, are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? Please. Young people, young people, young people.
Tune into the king of songs and blues. I'm on available. They know they see me. I'm on available. They know they see me. I'm on available. They know they see me.
Thank you so much. Sorry.
Okay, okay. Thank you. Thank you. So you're leaving me? You leave you're leaving me alone here? Yes, so stay close to me. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Oh, the energy is very, very low. Even the DG, help us. Good afternoon, everyone. Uh, I thought that this was the climax of this conference with the youth conference, so but we don't feel this energy, we don't feel this dynamism from the hall. Are you here? Are you here? From all Nigeria, from all the states of Nigeria, are you here? Okay, thank you, thank you, thank you, and welcome to all of you for this conference. So we are a little bit delayed. So you have to demonstrate that the young people you are at the rendezvous and that you can make it and be disciplined and respect time also, so that we make the best of the mobilization. We are here. You came from all the states. Some comes from outside Nigeria to join you and celebrate this gathering and being together for all our mobilization against HIV/AIDS. So, good afternoon to all of you. My name is Abdurrahman Diallo. I'm the UNESCO head of office here in Nigeria, and I'm very, very happy to be with you on the occasion of this conference, and I'm even more happy to be and taking this slot on behalf of the UN family, the United Nations family here in Nigeria. So this morning, those who had the opportunity to attend the official opening, our colleagues, the director of UN AIDS, who was present also, he spoke on behalf of UN. So we are back this afternoon, and I am here with my colleagues from UNICEF. Colleagues from UNICEF, please stand up. My colleagues from UNICEF. One of our colleagues is coming from New York, and she's coming from New York to join us. So welcome to her. The other colleague from Africa, welcome. Our colleagues from UNFPA. UNFPA, stand up. UNFPA from Abuja, from Lagos. Our colleagues from UNAIDS, welcome. And thank you for the coordination. UNAIDS, it's the entity coordinating our response, our support in this area. UNESCO colleagues, are you there? Thank you for joining us. So other colleagues, UNODC, I don't know if UNODC colleagues are here. UNDP. Well, we are here on behalf of all the UN family So we are happy to join you here. So, dear young people, dear friends, today marks another milestone in the response towards achieving our 2030 agenda at sustainable development. And we are very honored to be part of your great professional working in HIV prevention, health and well-being and development space in Nigeria. Intriguingly, the theme for this year, accelerating HIV prevention to end AIDS through innovation and community engagements, appraises the dire needs to ensure transformative approaches and advancement and transformative approaches at ensuring thriving education, health, and well-being of our adolescent and young people, and closing the tap to HIV. UNESCO and all UN agencies gathering today, we are continuing to support innovation and advancement in the achieving of the Education for Change agenda and the overall SDG 4 and targets. You will all agree with me that education has the power to transform the lives of children and young people and the world around them. But inclusive and transformative education cannot be delivered if they are not safe, well nourished, and healthy, and freedom, violence, and discrimination. The wealth and well being of today's adolescent, the largest generation of adolescents in the history of the world, will shape the achievement of the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals related to health, nutrition, education, and gender equality. Although there's not a standalone goal on youth, the SDGs ensure a renewed and expanded focus on adolescent health and well being. I wish to remind all of us that the state of the Federal Republic of Nigeria is part of the Western and Central Africa commitment for education, healthy, and thriving adolescent and young people. The objective of this commitment is to enable the region to capitalize on its demographic dividend by focusing on timely access to comprehensive quality education and information programs and health services adapted to the needs of adolescent and young people in West and Central Africa. Indeed, Western and Central Africa's demographic, health, and social data underscore the urgency of providing adolescents and young people with the means to avoid early and intended pregnancies, child marriage, and school dropout, as well as to prevent HIV and address gender based violence. West and Central Africa countries are committed to investing in the education and health of their youth and to working together. And by addressing these priorities, the region will be able to make significant progress toward achieving the Sustainable Development Goals on health, education, and gender equality. In this year, 2024, which has been proclaimed by Africa Union as the year of education, the commitment will also provide an enabling context for the implementation of the Africa Union roadmap on harnessing the demographic dividend, the continental education strategy for Africa, and the Education Plus initiative in West and Central Africa. So UNESCO, through its different initiatives and all the sister UN agencies present, UNICEF, UNFPA, UNITS, will continue to support you in the achievements of a Nigeria where adolescents and young people realize positive health, education, and gender equality outcomes through a sustained reduction in HIV new infections, unintended pregnancy, gender based violence, and child marriage. Fellow participants, it's all about young people with them and for them. It's all about young people with you and for you. We cannot discuss innovation for adolescents and young people without mentioning the needs for digital innovations. It has demonstrated powers to complement, enrich, and transform education for health and well being, and has the potential to speed up progress towards SDG 4 for education and transform modes of provision of universal access to learning and healthy living. For us to realize our dream of continuous HIV prevention among our young people, quality education is one of the ways. This is because it enhances the quality of and relevance of learning, strengthen inclusion, and improve education for health, policies, administration, and governance. Let's open digital learning for all. Let's translate all our commitments on education for well being into action. So, ladies and gentlemen, I took sometimes to share with you on behalf of our colleagues. I know that there will be rich session that will follow where different agencies would facilitate also sessions and share about some of these products and responses and innovative approach, notably using the digital platforms. So I just want to close and remind all of us that we have the responsibility to act for young people who are the future of the world. To do this, we can rely on their formidable inventiveness because young people are often the first to invent solutions to the problems that concern them. It cannot be for young persons without young person. It cannot be for you without you. So we are here to support. We are here to continue the journey all together. So thank you all for your mobilization. A big round of applause, all of you who came from all the regions, all the states of Nigeria and beyond. A big round of applause against to the UN family who are here, UNICEF, UNAIDS, UNFPAs, and all others that are here mobilized. There will be with you the the coming days, and stay assured of our mobilization and our responsibility. It is our duty. It is our duty to continue to partner. This is our raison d'être here and to support here and to continue to work with you. So thank you again. Thank you for your mobilization, and let's continue to be mobilized all together. And DG, I'll ask you to give us the tone because we put the emphasis on education, but we cannot do it without the power of culture also. So thank you, DG, for entertaining us and using the power of culture also to help us to transform the society. Thank you very much for your attention. Would you marry for those precisely us said your investment? I'm sure we can do better than that. Please let's give him a round of applause, please. So we thanks to our partners for making this happen. If not for them, we would not be able to gather in such a beautiful hall and have these conversations. Some of the partners that we can also thank include the UN agencies,
PEPFAR for sponsoring over 150 people here today too. So please, let's also give them a round of applause, please. So, so as we discussed, we have a couple of sessions that are coming up, and the next thing is you are going to see a couple of panelists. They are going to be engaging and talking about matters that concerns young people in relationship to HIV prevention. So just to give you a brief insight here, in 2019, there was a study conducted by UNAIDS that says 2 out of every 7 new HIV infections were among young people globally. And according to PEPFAR Nigeria's data, you'd see that we have a 33% gap in case findings between the ages of 15 to 19. So this is just to tell you that despite the fact that there's an increase in new infections, there's still we're still finding it difficult to find these young people. Now that is the issues, but that's not the reason why we're gathered here today. We're gathered here today to be solutions to these problems. And what is our team? Adolescents and young people as change agents. So please, I indulge you, don't zone out. There are a lot of partners in this room. Share your ideas, network, meet people, tell them your name, tell them who you work with, and please share any knowledge and insights that you have. So let's all give ourselves a round of applause one more time. So I'm going to be introducing the moderator for the next session. So the topic of the next session is multi-sectorial response for HIV prevention among adolescents and young people. So the chair and the moderator for this session, her name is Elizabeth Talatu, a very beautiful young lady. Please let's give her with a round of applause.
Hello. Hello. This eye is very low. Hello. Viva use Viva. Ah.
Hey.
Hey, you're supposed to say Viva. Oh. Viva use Viva.
Viva!
Viva use Viva.
Viva!
When I say HIV, say prevention conference. HIV. HIV. Prevention conference. Okay, you got it. Clap for yourselves. Clap for yourselves. All right, I know we are behind schedule, so we'll try as much as possible to keep this session as brief as possible. I will try. So the first session which we're having today, which is the opening plenary, is looking at multi-sectoral approach. Now we know that today it's important for us to push for multi-sectoral response for HIV prevention among adolescents and young people. And why is this important? It's important because with diverse perspectives from government officials, UN agencies, youth advocates, community leaders, and private sector representatives, we plan to dissect the challenges. So we're going to look at what are some of the challenges. We're also going to highlight successful strategies. And we're also going to chart the way forward. So what more do we need to do to address these challenges and unearth these best strategies? And we're going to be doing this through candid dialogue as well as collaborative efforts in a bid to shape actionable recommendations that will prioritize the well-being and empowerment of every adolescent and young person in all their diversities in the fight against HIV and AIDS. So please join me. Please, I'm calling the panelists. Kindly give them a good round of applause so that they can get to the stage on time. So our first panelist is no other but Sani Miriam from Paris. Okay, please, let's keep clapping until he gets to the stage. You're not clapping, no. We will spend 10 hours on this session if you test me. So please, let's clap. Thank you very much. Next on our list is Okpayemi Yekini, representing Naibuka. Please, a round of applause as he comes on the stage. Thank you very, very much. Please, would also like to have a representative from UNESCO, West and Central Africa Ministerial Committee. If we have someone from the committee around, we'd please like to have that person on the panel. And last but not the least, we'll be having Sarah Ahmed, the youth rep for CCM. Is she around? She's not yet. Okay. All right. So we're going to move straight into the panel session. So thank you so much, distinguished panelists.
and stakeholders for joining us on stage as we delve into multi-sectoral response for HIV prevention among adolescents and young people. So I'll start from my immediate left. We seem to be wearing the same color. Did we plan this outfit, Miriam? Okay, so let's move on to when we talk about multi-sectoral response. Can you just please share with us what some of the specific policies and initiatives that NACA has put in place, particularly, speaking more around collaboration, how you've collaborated with other sectors such as the health, education, and social welfare in some of these initiatives and policies that you have put in place. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. The government of Nigeria have implemented several policies and initiatives to address HIV prevention interventions for adolescents and young people. Part of the strategy is the development of the National HIV Strategic Plan, which highlight different strategies for HIV prevention, treatment, care, and support. And the framework has provision for adolescents and young people. We also have the National HIV Strategy for Adolescents and Young People, which is aimed in curbing the spread of HIV prevention among adolescents and young people, and it encompasses several components interventions that is tailored to address the specific needs and challenges of the AYP via targeted interventions where we engage the adolescent and young people through community outreaches program, peer education session, with also condom prep programming. We also have comprehensive sexuality education for adolescents and young people to empower them with right knowledge and skills, which will make them have make informed decision regarding their health. We also have comprehensive HIV testing and counseling services and youth-friendly services that caters for the needs of adolescents and young people by providing confidentiality and non-judgmental care to optimize the HIV prevention response. We also participate we also engage and mobilize adolescents because they are the drivers of change. Their voice can be heard, and they help us amplify voices to even make decision at the local, national, and the global level. We also monitor the HIV interventions for adolescents and young people. It helps us track progress, measure impact of the interventions, and also to see where we have make informed decision based on the data collected from various stakeholders working for HIV prevention. So for multi-stakeholder collaboration, we collaborate with multiple stakeholders we are across the country, from government agencies, Ministry of Education, Ministry of Health, National AIDS and STI Control Program, and so many organizations on health sector. It's just we collaborate to enforce HIV prevention efforts and also integrate all this strategy into existing healthcare system by supporting the facilities, providing HIV self-testing, treatment, and other sexual-related interventions such as STI screening and other sort of interventions. And we also train the healthcare service providers. For the education sector, we work with Ministry of Education to integrate sexuality education, which we call Family Life HIV education into the school health program to train teachers and empower adolescents how to make informed decision on their health status. And for the social welfare, we collaborate with so many agencies like Federal Ministry of Women Affairs, NDLEA, Human Rights Commission, Legal Aid Council to support vulnerable populations. Like using for the mental health program, we offer psychosocial support services. Ministry of Women Affairs, we also have empowerment, economic empowerment initiatives, and also legal or any judicial system to support to give legal assistance to adolescents and young people. Uh, thank you. All right.
Thank you so much. I mean, can we please appreciate her? Yes, absolutely. I know that there's so much more that you want to share, but unfortunately, we don't have, so much time on our hands. But I can see that one thing that really stood out from your response was how you work with other agencies, ministries, government, stakeholders in carrying out all of the initiatives that you made mention of. So I'll move on to my next panelist. Um, can you please share with us some successful examples of collaboration? So I know that Miriam talked a lot about how they've partnered with other organizations and initiatives in the HIV prevention response. But I'd just like to hear from UNAIDS. What are some of the practical, examples of collaboration that UNAIDS has had with other sectors in addressing HIV prevention? But more importantly, what strategies are being used to ensure that marginalized and vulnerable young populations are not left behind in these interventions? So Miriam made mention of the fact that in everything they do, they always engage young people. So I'd like to hear from UNAIDS as to how they also go about this.
Okay, yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you.
First, I think I want to situate what UNS does, a practical example within the context of what Miran said, because as a UN agency, we are basically in country to support national government and national programs. So you can find the context of our support within what our dear colleague and friend Miran had just said. But also want us to appreciate that when we talk of multi-stakeholder, multi-sectoral collaboration and partnership, it speaks to the whole idea of integration. It speaks to the whole idea of building partnership, and it also speaks to the idea of being evidence informed in our programming, using data and also using maybe key lessons learned. And so what we try to do in UNS basically is to ensure that first, we provide some kind of global guidance and also provide some kind of lessons learned from other clients that can provide some good base for us to actually situate our kind of programs and planning. But when you talk about what is it that has worked, you see it basically from the point of view of what is the planning framework that have been adopted in country and what are those global best practices that have been shared to inform our programming in Nigeria. And so we know that we provide some kind of guidance, global guidance. We provide some kind of data and information to inform program, to inform planning. You can situate some of the best practices within that context. Secondly, you can also situate what has worked from the point of view of making sure that you mobilize resources when you do planning, when you also share practices and you want to replicate, you need resources to do that. And so your ability to help the country to mobilize resources is one clear example of having opportunity of bringing people together to see the need and to bring resources to support that need so identified. So clearly, the fact that we are able to ensure that we assist in mobilizing resources to ensure that we have program implementation in countries is also a clear good example that we can share. I think the third example that we can also share is that of trying to ensure that we have some element of peer review, ensuring that people who mentored, people who have also experienced, have the opportunity to share across boundaries, across sectors. So experience sharing actually represent one clear example where we have evidence of practices, multi-sectoral practices that have worked, but also in ensuring that you have data that inform your programs, data that inform your planning, ensuring also that you have platforms that clearly are accessible, that are user-friendly, and also is clear example of having a multi-sectoral approach also that has worked. But I think coming from the angle of the UN is to say that if you have a program that mobilizes 12 other UN agencies to bring their comparative advantage and expertise to support in-country, clearly demonstrates a very fantastic practice and example that has worked. And that is what UNH actually represent as a secretariat, bringing together 12 co-sponsors UN agencies, bringing their comparative advantage and experiences, and also to support the country clearly. It's an example of a practice of bringing multi-sectoralism into implementation of programs in country. But I also just want to say that we have an opportunity here to share experiences, We have opportunity here to share programs that have been able to accord some level of successes. And we also have a opportunity here for peer learning. And so when you bring people together like this, clearly it demonstrates the fact that there is great value in coming together. And the whole idea of convening, the whole idea of bringing people together is what we represent. And I think it's also one of those good practices that has worked. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Please, can we appreciate him? Thank you. Thank you very much for speaking to some of the ways in which UNH has played a critical role in bringing together different stakeholders to push the HIV prevention response agenda. So I'll just quickly move on to a young person on the panel. I mean, you have such a great opportunity right now because you have the key stakeholders within the HIV prevention response seated right here on the stage with you. So the question basically is, tell us, tell them, you're representing all the young persons in this room. What more do you need them to do in ensuring a multi-sectoral response? And if you can also share practical ways, I mean, it's a great talk about experience sharing, right? Best practices. What are some of those best practices that have been deployed in engaging young people meaningfully in pushing the HIV prevention response agenda within
Thank,
the multi-sectoral response?
thank you so much, Elizabeth. So, talking about multi-sectoral strategy is more about talking about integration. And we look at it critically, we see that a lot of things are going on. The UN agencies, they said they come together to do a lot of things. But aside the UN agency, even in country, we still need more collaboration from the health sector to Ministry of Technology, having the media. And if you look at it, we are young people and we are exposed to more technology these days. We've really seen little impact of Ministry of Technology in HIV. And if you have collaboration with like more sectors like that, you can do so much for ourselves. More young people coming up can come up with ideas that will empower them to take viable decisions. There are a lot of people going on in the internet. A lot of people have been using the internet in the wrong way, but when it comes together, it comes like kind of social empowerment. So we need departments like that. And we see media, we've all seen the power of media recently. We see even if you're going to spread a lie, it takes seconds with media. So we need those kind of multi-sectorial collaboration in the HIV space. We need them to come together and see how they can amplify the engagement of young people in what they do. Also, I'm also going to talk about the collaboration. So we've seen, like, I remember the first Global Fund, UNICEF, and WHO coalition happened it was launched in 2022 in AIDS conference in Canada. And we want a situation whereby all the set objective for the collaboration is being tracked and tracked in the way that young people are also seeing what happened. We know they've announced the collaboration, but we were not really so much aware of the joint funding that is being done. We need them to be more accountable and involving young people so we can familiarize them with the evolving needs of us young people. So we need those kind of responsible collaborations. We need to know what they want to do for young people. Let's be practical about it. They might say they want to support young people with food. But when we know what they want to do, when we have that kind of partnership, we can tell them right now the needs of young people are not food. The needs of young people is doing something greater than what they think is right. I mean, you can only put a square peg in a round square hole. So we are the one that we were the we are the young people. They might have been a young person, people that are taking the leadership role. So we need them to let us know that this is what we feel, what this is what we feel is right for young people. Then we can make absolute correction that this is what should be done at this particular time. It might be right in your time, but this our own time is not done that way. So we need collaboration that will just amplify what young people want. We want to see projects that truly demonstrate the intents of young people. Like I say in the Lift Equity Fund, we need good things like that that will engage young people. We need here to build our capacity. In the next few years, all these are doctors, are researchers. What will happen to is HIV research in the country? We need a good transition plan for young people that once they are not done, we have young people that have the capacity to do whatever they are doing. Thank you so much.
Please, can we appreciate him? I hope that he has spoken your minds. Young people in the room, do you agree with everything he has said? Do you agree? Okay. But just to also buttress that, I think some of the key things that came out from what you said, is in terms of capacity collaboration, seeing young people as partners, not just as program beneficiaries, people who would get food and get files and get, souvenirs and materials, but looking at them as, partners within this multisectoral response. And of course, providing them with the support, financial, technical, human, to be able to bring the ideas to life, leveraging technology, as you mentioned, media, as you mentioned, which is one of our strong suits, right? But it's not enough for you to also provide those platforms, but take away the barriers to access. I think that's also extremely important. So we're going to move now to the private sector, to Naibuka, right? And I know that when it comes to multi-sectoral response, a lot of the time, what comes to our minds, governments, UN agency, CSOs, NGOs, true or false? True or false? Nobody talks about the private sector a lot of the time. We tend to put them in the back corners. But today we have Mr. Kwayemi from Naibuka, who will be talking to us about the private sector and how the private sector has played a critical role within the HIV response. So we'd just like for you to share with us one of the successful ways in which Naibuka has been able to take a lead in integration of HIV prevention initiatives within your organization's programs, and what other, innovative strategies can we use to further strengthen that ongoing collaboration that currently exists?
Thank you very much. My name once again is Okpeyemi Yekini from Naibuka. Naibuka stands for Nigerian Business Coalition Against AIDS, was established February 2003 under the presidential order by the then former president Olusegun Obasanjo. I think we are about 21 years old now. I think we deserve a round of applause, please. Thank you very much. I'm representing my CEO, the MD, in person of Dr. Jeku Osuemene. Naibuka, we've done a lot. However, our existence is based on the support we have been receiving uh, from the beginning from NACA. I think NACA deserves a bigger round of applause. Thank you for all the support. As we're all aware that Nabuka has the mandate to galvanize support, financial support from the leading businesses in Nigeria. And that's exactly what we have been doing to ensure that we have sufficient and adequate resources required internally to fund the HIV and AIDS issues in Nigeria. Um, since then, we've been doing that, and NACA and all our development partners, I want to specifically appreciate the effort of UNAIDS. Thank you very much. From the beginning, ILO, UNESCO, and all other UN systems. One of the innovative ways of which we have been using since we started is to ensure that all the leading businesses in Nigeria are giving their maximum support, and they've been doing that responsibly from the beginning. And also, we ensure that we have what we call collaboration strengthening. Collaboration strengthening, like APIN is here, they can bear witness. We ensure that in any of their activities, we bring in support. NEP1 is here, they can bear witness. We do that as well as one and others. Not only that, as we are all aware about the theme of this program, which is AYP as change agents, we have uh, a specific project that we are running since 2019, that's most recent one, called NANI. NANI stands for Naibuka Ambassador NYC initiative, whereby we go to uh, all our NANIM project states in collaboration with NYC and development partners and other international NGOs to train and build the capacity of the fresh graduates. We know that core members, they are young people and they have the best brain. Because if they don't have, they wouldn't have been graduated. Then they have the mandate as well to go to their PPA to ensure that they step down the similar training to adolescent and young people. And we are doing that one and it's still ongoing. Not only that, we have what we call workplace HIV policy strengthening. Because we observe that for a very long time, when some young people go for interview and maybe they are going to carry out medical check and maybe an individual is HIV positive, and it's not your fault. It's not my fault that I'm positive. But and I have the best result. I'm the best candidate. And you now went ahead and said, look, I can't give you this job. So what NIBUCA is doing to ensure that we strengthen the workplace HIV policy, that we now have what we call zero stigma and discrimination. And we always make it very abundantly clear to all job applicants that at any point you are being denied of your job opportunity, NIBUCA is there for you. We work with all the leading businesses in Nigeria. So it shouldn't be mentioned anywhere again that you are being denied of the job you are qualified for because of a HIV status. NIBUCA is there and is ready to stand by you and to take the matter to the point that you will get that job that you deserve. I think we deserve a round of applause on that. Not only that, we have what we call HSE intervention, workplace as well. That is health, safety, and environment. We work with all the organization and come to ensure that as they are doing their work legitimately, the aspect of the health becomes the priority. The aspect of the safety at workplace, necessary support, which is one of our key mandate to galvanize necessary financial support to end AIDS by 2030. Thank you very much, sir.
Please let's appreciate him. Thank you. Thank you so much, sir, for that response. I think you mentioned a lot of things that I'm sure resonated with many of us in this room. And as you were speaking, I just remembered just had a training with Pardon. And one of the things that kept on coming up, stigma and discrimination in the workplace. So I was really glad that you mentioned it. So one thing I just want to say is that, especially for our young people who are currently in the hall, sessions like this are so important because it harms you with what they can use. Most times, one thing I've realized is sometimes there are mechanisms in place to ensure that things like this don't happen. But actually, back, let's try to take this information back to young people who might not be just like for you to.
Good afternoon once again, everybody. It is called West and Central Africa Ministerial Commitment uh, to driving health, educated, healthy, and thriving adolescents. Now, we